Hey guys, and welcome back to a Road to a Swift project. Today we'll be making the home view more dynamic and moving on from the global, static, let strings that we set up earlier. So the first thing we're going to do is change the constant variable of header from global dot trending movie or whatever item it could be into a type. A type is something like a string, an integer, or a boolean, or many other things. But since we are dealing with trending movies title, we simply just need to make it a string. So we will get rid of the global trending movies, and we replace it, including the equals, with a semicolon, and then also the word or the type of string. Also, as you can see, I've moved the horizontal line view into my view directory just to practice good MMV. So then if we get rid of the equals and we replace it with a string, we now have a dynamic string. So it will just relate to whatever string we pass in. However, since we've changed it to a string, we need to change and make the preview happy. So what we need to do is we need to apply header and then also a default value for the preview to be happy. So we'll just type in global trending movies like we have at the moment. And then our preview will be happy because it has some default data. And then just to showcase how the preview works, we can change trending movies to top rated movies and we let the preview load. And then once the preview loaded, we can see the top rated movies. However, at the moment, I would like trending movies to be there instead. So we'll just replace top rated movies with trending movies, and we'll let the canvas load, and we get trending movies back again. And now the next step is to transfer all these horizontal line view code that we did into the home view by simply calling horizontal line view and then calling the global static lets that we have in our shared view model. So underneath the Sopranos and the play download button will be 4 sections that we set obviously in global. So then if we pass in the horizontal line view file, we will see when we go down we need to pass in a string, and that will be the global and the respective trending movies, trending TVs, top rated movies, and top rated TVs as well. So we simply just need to do 4 lines of that. So that's the trending movies, and now we'll do global trending TV. And as you can see, Swift is providing us with autocomplete, making it easy for us. So horizontal line view and then global as the parameter, as one of the key value pairs. So we do top rated movies and then finally top rated TV. Nice, so that's done. So now you can see we have all 4 sections. But as you can no doubt tell if you're following along, we cannot actually scroll up or down. We can scroll horizontally, but we cannot scroll up or down. So what we'll do is we will embed our entire VStack into a ScrollView. So double tap VStack, right click, go down to embed and type in ScrollView. And as it refreshes, you can see now we can scroll horizontally and vertically now. Nice. Also, as you can no doubt tell, the Sopranos poster is slightly encroaching on the ignore safe area space. On the safe area space, the ignore safe area is what can help with backgrounds, but that will not be what we fix this with. In this instance, as we see as we wait for the preview to load, a frame modifier would be required to fix this small little issue. However, a frame modifier by itself would not be the issue, so we will actually need to use a GeometryReader. We can therefore, as I make a note to myself about what needs to be done for future reference, we can therefore wrap eventually the ScrollView into a geometry reader. We can then use the geometry reader GeoIn within the closure, and we can use the geometry reader properties to set the width and the height to geo height and geo width, geo size and geo size, height and width, and then we can adjust the height afterwards. So what we'll now do is we'll double click on ScrollView after the note is finished. And then we will right click, go down to embed, type in geometry reader, giving me a geo in. Then on the async image, we will go down and we will type in dot frame. Then we will set the width to be geo size width frame, and then width to geo dot size dot width, and then after that we will set the height to geo dot size dot height, and we will then add a double to make it even better. So at the beginning we will do 0.8, so we will times the height by 0.8, because at the moment with no multiplier there is far too much space on the safe space. So by timesing it by 0.8 you can see it's nice and fitting. But if you wanted to play around with it a bit, we could, for example, change 0.8 to 0.7, and you can see it will be squeezed slightly and it will create a bit more space on the sides, which doesn't exactly look good. So what we'll do is we'll get rid of 0.75 and we'll just leave it or change it to 0.85. Nice. Now, since we fixed the scrolling view with ScrollView, allowing us to scroll vertically, you will also see on the right there is a scroll indicator, that little grey thing on the right. So what we'll do is we'll add a modifier to remove that for now. So if we double click on the open squiggly brackets and type in the modifier scroll indicator, and we will set it to hidden. So dot scroll indicator, and in the brackets we will choose hidden. This allows us to scroll up and down the app, and the scroll indicator on the right you can see now does not appear. Nice. If you've been following along, well done. This app is really coming together now. You can see we have a nice horizontal scroll view, no scroll indicator on the side, and we can scroll up and down with working buttons and working titles. This is a good place to leave, and if you're following along, well done. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.